Hey, it's Writing Wednesday. I am Janet Fitch, and it's it's like 5 weeks of shutdown, something like that. It is, thank God, stopped raining in LA, and it's a beautiful day out there, so that was cheery. But all sounds, all kinds of sudden panics. Anytime somebody sneezes, you know, uh, easy to imagine the worst, trying to focus my imagination on something productive, like working. Um, this has been surprisingly productive for somebody who is as nervous, generally, a person as I am. I have, as some of you know, I've been working with my writers, kind of an extended group online, working every day from 11 to 4 in 2 2-hour sessions, each 25 minutes long with a 5-minute break in between. And I have like 11 chapters. I can't believe that to be writing at a certain time, sit down on my computer, and other people are also sitting down and opening our computers together and working together. You can do it by phone even, on a long phone call, Skype, Zoom. It's a real interesting thing to do. But what to do today? The problem with quarantine is that every day is very much like every other day, which starts to give you some problems. So let's make today different. Why is this day different from all other days? Hey, Gail. Oh, cool. Thank you for joining us. What I thought we could do today is we could write together. And I haven't done this yet, and I think I'm going to get a document camera so we can do this at a more intimate scale, the desktop scale. But I'm a great one for just DIY and making things do. And so I thought what we do is I do a writing exercise. I do it with all my students who know this well. I've shared this on Writing Wednesday. It's the word, the exercise. It all starts with a word. And we're going to pick a word at random. Hi, Jeffrey. We're going to pick a word at random. I have a bunch of words in this little pocketbook. It says, happy-go-lucky, go with the flow. Yay. And what I did, and you can do this too, is I made a list of words. Simple words, mostly one syllable, two syllable, often that are verbs and nouns, that they could be either one, like chair. You can share a meeting, you can sit on a chair, somebody can be the chair, a lot of different kinds of things. And so what I just did, I'll do it again so I can have a suitably dramatic drum roll, as I'm going to pick a word for today and we're going to work with it. So the word I see coming up is funnel. And it's a really good thing to do for yourself, is just make a huge long list of words, cut them up, and then you can have a random writing exercise whenever you want to. And there's something about the randomness that's really nice, because writing exercises like this are best when they come up from they get to unconscious material. And random stuff, it's like a Rorschach. It's like, anybody played the scribble game when they were a kid? You make a scribble just at random, and then you turn that into a picture. So you let the random thing suggest what it is. Michelangelo found the man in the stone. Okay, so today, let's see how this goes. Funnel is our word. And the way this works, and I'm going to be at my computer, and if you guys have a notebook or your computer open or a piece of paper, is list, or do it as a comment, list 5 to 10 associations you have with the word funnel. What kinds of funnels come to mind when you think of funnel? Okay, so and I'm going to do it too. Right, let's take a moment and write some funnels. So, okay, my funnels. Okay. I've got pouring perfume into a flask with a funnel. I have a very tiny funnel that I do that with. Traffic funneling down to a tunnel. Jeffrey says the poison was funneled down her throat. There you go. But the idea is to get a number of them. Okay, so keep working. Hey, Brett, thanks for having us, for coming. And yes, we will miss you this summer. The Squaw Valley Community of Writers big conference is for not being held this summer. But yeah, I assume we're going to be doing some online stuff. That'll be really cool. So keep checking their site. All right. So I get traffic funneling down to a tunnel. What else is there? Funnel. The inner city school funneling the brightest into the army. I've seen that. Small town school, small town high school. So I'm going to modify it. The small town high school funneling the brightest into the Air Force. I've seen that. Let's do that. What other funnels do we have? The doctor's funneled out of the subway car. That's good. Small town high school funneling the brightest into the Air Force. I'm using that in this book that I'm writing, so I probably won't use it as my ending up my prompt. You know, the funnel for pancakes in a pancake batter and a pancake. Or in a motel, the funnel for pancakes for pancake batter in a motel breakfast room. You know that one? Yeah, new book. Working on a new book. Funnel. How about the sophomore boy with the funnel in his mouth and they're pouring beer down it? At a party. Hey, Toby, we're writing here. The word is funnel. So we're trying to get like 5 to 10 ideas of what funnel might, what your associations with the word funnel might be. Vinegar mixture into a people. I don't even know if people know what a douchebag is, really. I mean, they call people douchebags, but into a douchebag, that's like 50s stuff. With a funnel. The funnel of privileged kids from fancy high schools into Ivy League colleges. Okay, that's 8. The information is funneled out sporadically. That's really good, Shayna. I like it. The way information is funneled. That's a really good one. That is a fear funneled, not airways. That's a poet. Thanks, Becky. What other kinds? The cake, the funnel of icing, making sugar cookies. I did a lot of funneling. Yeah, the fear of funneling through airways. The monster climbed in the water, funneled down the drain. Cars funneled out from the tunnel. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that traffic stuff. Yeah, I'm getting that too. Uh, so anyway, you have your 8 or 9, 10 ideas. Mine is the funnel that you pour. I pour perfume into a flask with a tiny funnel. Traffic funneling down a tunnel. That's mine. The small town high school funneling its brightest into the Air Force. Funnel for pancake batter to pancake house. Funnel for pancake batter to motel breakfast room. I'm going to put a star by that. That one feels like there's more going on. So the point is that you want to have a number of associations with something so that you can pick the most resonant one. And if you only have one, then, it's already been picked for you. And it might not, there might be more in there. Oh, how about the funnel of a narrow canyon? The water shooting through. That's like a whitewater rafting trip story. Anyway, so almost everything I've ever written comes from one of these shorts. So the idea is that you pick I would pick one of these and that I like the best and write 2 pages, single spaced, using that word somewhere in the piece. So I don't use these exercises to work on stories I'm already working on. I use them absolutely to pull material out of the unconscious. And for me, because I already use the small town high school funneling the brightest in the Air Force for my novel thing that I'm working on, traffic funneling down to a tunnel is not grabbing me. The perfume into the flask for a tiny funnel, that interests me. So I put a star by it. I put a star by the funnel for the pancake batter in a motel breakfast room. I like that. I don't think I'm going to write about the sophomore boy with people pouring beer into his mouth at a party with a funnel. The douchebag one sounds like an anxious, maybe pregnant girl in the 50s, funneling vinegar or Coca-Cola or whatever with a funnel into that douchebag. That's kind of an interesting one. I'd put a star by that one. The funnel of privileged kids from fancy high schools into the Ivy League college. That's like that's like our lives, right? It doesn't pull me. It doesn't pull my unconscious material. What you're always doing with exercises is to try to get to that unconscious material, find the end of the magician's handkerchief and start pulling it out. So that doesn't pull anything out for me. Funnel of icing making sugar cookies. That is some primal stuff. And I could maybe see something about that. And then the funnel of the narrow canyon, the water shooting through. I like that one too. But I think of all of these, the ones that have pulled me the most are the perfume, the little funnel of the perfume, and the pancake batter in the motel breakfast room. Okay, so I would pick my two, and then I would decide between them. And often I would do one, and then if the other one, if it doesn't thrill me, then I would go back and try the other one. But for some reason, I like that funnel for pancake batter in the motel breakfast room. Then you ask yourself, who is it? When is it? Where is it? What's going on? So my associations with the funnel for the pancake batter in a motel breakfast room is usually the commercial traveler, somebody who travels for sales, travels a lot, stays in those chain hotels that have these there's a funnel with the waffle batter. I see people traveling, thrifty travelers, and then the commercial traveler to whom a waffle is not a big, a big thrill. Seeing people with maybe small children who really are getting off on that waffle maker, and they're all excited, and their kids get it all over the place, and just maybe thinking about his or her own children and where are they and how's their marriage, and looking at the young couple so happy to be in this crummy place because they're on vacation and their kids are just loving the excitement of hi Carol, they're loving the excitement of a place like this, whereas my commercial traveler is more doesn't even want a waffle maybe, but ends up making one because he's trying or she's trying to share in the excitement of this young couple with their children, and probably getting it on her blouse, 2 pages double spaced, what is that, 500 pages, 500 words, and you have a little short, and I have hundreds, everything, one of them. So anyway, that's how it works. I'm going to take another one. Anybody else wanted to? Okay, I'm going to take another one. Let's see what we can get out of this. See what we've got. Oh, this is a very good one. I'll probably end up throwing it back in the we have slide. Anybody have slides? Slide. So I think of slide, the playground slide, the huge slide that hey Linda, the huge slide you're afraid to go down when you're a little kid, that challenge. I see a slide. When I was in nursery school, there was a slide, the old woman in the shoe, and the slide was in the shoe. Old woman in the shoe. And you take those fairy tales very literally when you're a kid. So what does it mean? She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. And thinking about your own future and your own fate and what life is like at 3 and 4. I was a very philosophical little kid. So that little slide, and then there's the slide when your life is like going down the slide, the big slide. and what the big slide in life, what that might feel like. Is it a relief to finally stop trying? The big slide. Um, I see somebody, a day drinker, somebody in a bar. It tells me about, I would write about giving up, people who just are taking the big slide. The you know so maybe somebody is looking at a playground scrambling up a slide, and you've seen kids do this, or you've done this yourself. It's like going up the escalator the wrong way on the escalator. To scramble to the top of the slide is really interesting. And if somebody is dejected and in a park, or somewhere, and watch a kid climbing a slide, and the effort that takes, and their determination to do it, could be a turning point. A subtle, yeah, you can't beat people over the head, but it could be a turning point in somebody's life. You have to be careful not to explain your metaphors. If you don't have, oh, Jeanette watched the kid climb the slide. Oh, if he could do it, I could do it. Try not to do that. Just allow your reader to be intelligent, and know your reader will pick it up. What other slides can there be? There can be eggs sliding out of the sweat slides down her naked flesh as her husband caught her cheating on him. There you go. There's one. I see eggs. The slide of loose shale. That's really good. Mount Baldy. That would be maybe a little story, a hiking story or climbing story. Could be very dramatic. Hi, Mary. Thank you. So other slide, eggs sliding out of a pan onto a plate. But then I ask myself, what's my association with eggs sliding out of a pan onto a plate? It's breakfast. Somebody could be making breakfast for somebody else. The eggs break. That's always a drag, so what else? Slides. You slide your feet out of shoes after a long day. Oh God, if you've been on your feet, if you're a waitress, nursing profession, bartender, it already suggests you're looking for character now. Who is it? Slide feet out of shoes after a long day. Nurse, bartender. Who you become. Oh, a slip and slide. Toby's got a slip and slide. Oh my God, those wonderful summer days. That is an excellent one. Cool. What other kinds of slide? Market. Stock market slide. And I might think about who would care about that the most, or who would not care about that at all. Two different sets of stories there with that stock market slide. Somebody could be in a situation where something else is sliding, so a relationship is sliding, and the person is on the phone and sees the stock market sliding, but it's not the stock market. I mean, of course it is the stock market, but but it's, what is that? What would that comment on in the relationship? Or somebody to whom would it be especially important? A new trader on Wall Street, somebody who's made an unwise investment, market would shore them up. Um, Other slides. Slide on some lipstick. Sometimes a smile slides across someone's face. And that would be interesting if it was somebody that you expected not to be smiling, and then suddenly you see that smile slide. So we're handling these things for associations. What else slides? Slides. Let it slide. Sometimes you just let something slide. Something that you would normally like be on top of, and your kid or some, friend, and you'd be all over them, but you're tired, or you're, for some reason today you've decided to let that slide. So I have a slide, a playground slide. I have a huge slide you're afraid to go down as a kid. The slide, the old woman in the shoe. The big slide in life and the different associations, the relief to stop trying, day drinker, giving up, scrambling up a slide, egg sliding out of a pan, slide feet out of shoes after a long day, nurse, bartender, stock market slide on some lipstick, smile slides across someone's face, just let something slide. There's a lot of good slides. I would say what calls me if I was writing the short, which, this is what I have. My students would do this every week. They would bring in a short. And I am drawn to the shoes of the nurse, bartender, waiter, taking those shoes off at the end of the day. Wow. And I like the big slide and the relief to just stop trying, as somebody who's just, so ambitious and everything is around achieving something. Wow, wouldn't it be really relaxing just to give up? This is the opposite that I'm telling you every week. But, it's interesting. And so you have to go where your interest is. And a little kid on a slide that's too big for them, that terror of the slide, that kind of does something for me too. So I would probably pick one of those three to be the thing I'm most attracted to doing. And you write 2 pages double spaced using that word. I'll do one more and we'll call it a day. And please put your version of whatever it is. So I'm very interested in seeing what other people decide. So get ready. I'm picking something. Here it goes. All right. The slide again. I pulled it out already once. Bow or bow, B-O-W. So what are your associations? I'll let you guys do this one. Bow or bow. It's interesting. Don't think too hard. This is the kind of thing, it's better to think fast. I think of bow. I think of that bow that people slap on the baby's head. It's a completely bald infant, but they need to indicate that it's a girl. So it's like they put it on with with super glue. Okay, so the bow on an infant's head, the bow on a baby girl's head. I used to cut the bows off of my mother's clothes when I was I loved a pair of cut the bows off mom's clothes and my own. I don't know what that was about. I didn't have a therapist at the time, but I just hated bows. They seemed so unnecessary. And I'm sure it was some deep reaction to the limitations that were being told to me, even, at 3 and 4 when I was a little girl back in the Ice Age. And it must have been a primitive rebellion even then, or else a design. My aesthetic was offended by seeing all these bows all over everything. I cut bows off a beautiful cocktail dress. I'm using that in my in the novel that I'm working on. She had a big bronze satin bow on a cocktail dress, and I just like cut it off, left big holes, cut bows off shoes. I was great with scissors. So that's definitely something that I'm already using. The bow, I remember dance class when I was a kid. We had dance as part of PE in LA elementary schools. So you did the Mexican hat dance and one of square dancing and stuff. And I remember you bowed to your partner, or curtsy. But a curtsy is harder than a bow. That's not fair. So you bow in elementary school, and you had to dance with a boy. Ah! Bow to your partner, square dance. I love the bow when you go to Japan, and it's great for the social distance era. I'll tell you, it's just like, I love that. It is so respectful. You're keeping your hands to yourself, but you're really recognizing another person. And a stranger is not like people you would kiss and hug, generally speaking. And I love that Japanese bow. What kinds of bows are there? The bow of a boat. So you smash the chain across the bow, right? You sit in the bow and ride the boat like a horse as it goes forward, the bow cutting the water, that's beautiful. And sometimes the dolphin run in front of the ship, ahead of the bow. That's beautiful. Any other bows or bows that you like? Bows, bows. So we got a boat bow, Japanese bow, the bow, bow on a dress, bow on an apron. I can remember my mother tying a bow on an apron behind her back, that she could tie a bow behind her back. I thought that was amazing. And there's something about the bow, as we talked, I was saying about cutting the bows off of all my clothes when I was a little girl, because I hated bows. I thought they were just like, I didn't like ruffles. I didn't like bows. I had a very stark aesthetic. And I did not like all that frippery. It's taken me many years to appreciate a good ruffle, I think of these dresses. I'm trying to think of who did the big bows. Dior, I think. Dior, New Look, big bow, because there had been fabric rationing during World War II. So after the war, when things started picking up again. The new look of Dior had just acres of fabrics and big skirts and stuff because they could. And the big bow, Marilyn Monroe, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that dance that she does in the pink dress, and that's a big bow on her behind, I believe. That's interesting. Any bows? Anybody want to try this one? Okay, well, that's a fair number of them. And of all these bows, I would say I'm already using cutting the bows off the mom's clothes in the novel that I'm currently writing. So I think that's off the table. I would say that bow on the infant's head to show that they're a girl. It all is part of the same thing. Or a mother tying a bow behind her back. There's something, that gesture is so practiced. It's like watching somebody put lipstick on without a mirror. It's like that they've done lots of that. And then I would write 2 pages double spaced using that idea that me, seeing what associations I have with it, and just I'd use bow somewhere in there. So this is, if you don't have anything you're currently working on, if you're just starting to write during this self-isolation period and want something that's not too hard to do, why don't you try one of these words? So today's words were funnel, slide, and bow or bow. And I have a little extra time, so if anybody has a question about writing, about life, about your slip and slide on the grassy lawn, this is a good time to ask me. I'm all yours. I am finding that I'm writing so much right now. I did not think I would, because I've been so reactive. Anytime anything happens, it takes me days to get over it. And yet, knowing that the working group, it's about, there's about 15 writers, not every day, but I know they're out there working. At least 2 of them, at least 3 of them, at least 5 of them. So I know what I'm doing every day, and that helps me, that keeps me from just doing social media all day, finding the worst things that people are posting, watching TV. I mean, at least it gives some rhythm to the day, and it gives me somewhere for my overactive imagination. So thank you for watching. And if there's any topic that you want me to cover next week, just leave it in comments and I will address it. So thank you for being there. And I should say that I've putting another group of these Writing Wednesday videos on my YouTube station, so they'll always be there. And for people who don't do Facebook, but why would you be here if we're not Facebook? Anyway, thank you very much and wishing you good writing. Bye.